So I just got done playing Elden Ring Nightreign. Pretty good. I honestly thought I enjoyed it. However, I can definitely see why everyone has opinions they do, and I think they're right. I think everyone so far about their opinions has been justified. In this little rant, I'm going to just kind of give like my thoughts and opinions on it, and maybe you guys can agree, maybe not. But I think right now the biggest problem, which is really ironic for this, is the multiplayer. Look, going from my own experience, when I played this game, I thought I was going to be a little bit more bored, and I enjoyed the game as a base game itself, right? I think the game was really well done. I thought the game was genuinely fun, and when you're going around this with friends, dude, like I'm telling you, if you're able to get people in a group chat, like in Discord, it's going to be a fun time, right? But the problem is, this isn't a From Software game to me. It feels like a game that has the mechanics from From Software game, but like in terms of what normal From Software lore is and the way that you go through these games, this isn't it. And I think that is part of the prime problem, let alone with the multiplayer. Now, from my own experience again, when we were doing this on stream, which, by the way, you should totally check it out, okay, the blue digit, it's down, but we stream every day, we do these new games, you check it out, but we did this, for an hour, just trying to set up the multiplayer, because it was so damn confusing, bro. It was so damn confusing, and I maybe other people had the easier time, I hope they did, but it was just terribly exhausting. They have this thing where you have to, like, invite people with different passwords, blah, 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 blah. Almost none of it mattered, bro. The only thing you had to do was go into your Steam invite and just invite them like that. That's it. But they have this terrible multiplayer system that, and I know they didn't think it out, because here's the thing, is that everyone has already been talking about this. I know, like, I'm pretty sure Moist Critical already talked about it as well, but you don't even have a chat system. All there is your player joining you. So if you want to play with randoms, you're literally just going to be playing with essentially players. But like the thing is, that's really sad about this is, okay, if there's no chat, there's not even a voice chat. Let me mind you, okay? Which, bro, we're in 2025. If you don't have a voice chat in your game, come on. Especially if it's going to be like one of the biggest multiplayer games of the year, right? I feel like it is completely unsatisfactory, and it's not something I'm going to be able to sit here and be like, yeah, that makes sense. What I will say is, from, again, what I remember when I first played the original Elden Ring. If you're on PC, okay, it's just a small thing. Controls are a lot better. Okay, so like if you want to jump in off of like playing on a keyboard, you're going to actually have a much better time, because they actually like kind of sorted things out a lot better this time. But regardless, everything else just feels like really clunky. And I think hopefully they revamp the multiplayer, because, dude, they only have solos and trios, and I can only imagine how hellish doing solo would be, bro. Okay? Because this game almost relies on moments of you having to get rezzed. If you can't even get rezzed by someone, so if you want a duo, you're screwed. You can't. You have to play with some rando, because what happens, you do duo, and then it'll get like a random in there. Trios is basically the only way you can play this. And I even did like a little like look-up thing on Discord to try and find people to play with. I couldn't. Maybe you guys can like find something else just like for shits and giggles. Like I tried finding my own way of like, okay, let's say I was like a solo person, I didn't have friends to play with, okay? Which, hey, that almost was the case, okay? I was lucky actually I have like two people to play with, but if that is the case, could you actually play this? And I don't know, man. So I would just keep that in mind. There's some games that can pull this shit off just because like the way that they have the IPs are just gonna like succeed no matter what, like Dead by Daylight, okay? But even then, like they have giant servers where you can jump into voice chats and whatnot, okay? So that's a little bit different. This game also only did come out a few days ago, so like maybe I need to give more time. I'm sure everyone really does, but regardless, it's just you want the best for this type of stuff, and no one knows From Software for being mid in its releases, and the fact that this is like the first, yeah, it's okay. That's not good, especially for what From Software is capable of doing. And again, I'm glad that there's some different endings. I'm glad there's like some animations. I even beat the first boss here. Okay, this is like first impressions here. Okay, and I'm also not like crazy playing the game, so this just come from like an average, casual, normal player. Okay, if you're like some like, all right, okay, if you're that, you're gonna have a different like opinion about the shit. Okay, you probably already make up your mind if you want to play or not. But if you're like an average player, this is kind of like what this video is for. Like it's for like the average Joe here. Okay, I think if you want to play with some friends, you actually have some, get the game. If you have the money, okay? It is more expensive than I think it's worth, but if you for sure think, hey, this would be a game I do want to do with my friends, it's not going to be a bad time. But don't expect it to feel like anything except for mechanics, And, you know, there are some visuals that obviously are going to be very similar to, like, other From Software games. Because basically it's just, they threw all the shit into a pot and then they stirred it. And it's like, okay, here. That's all they did. And then they slap some other shit on it. It's exactly what it sounds like. But the problem for me, and this is where, like, I kind of want to make this video, I think a lot of things that people aren't really talking about is the fact that, okay, every single From Software game that I've seen, that I've played, okay, you have at least have had some kind of, like, serious down-to-earth lore that really makes these moments, like, more precious towards every level of design. What I mean by that is, okay, let's say you jump into Elden Ring. You don't have to be running around. You look around at things. You study things. You can spend one section in, like, a small-ass area for, like, 30 minutes, an hour, bro, just because of how detailed the attention is, right? And that's really nice. That's what makes, like, all these games really special. Dude, there are videos upon hours of people, like, talking about Dark Souls or Bloodborne just because the attention to detail to every little thing, right? The reason why I think this game falls short is, first off, again, they don't have any original enemies, which it's hard. It's really hard to do that, so I understand why they didn't. But at the same time, I do think it would have probably changed things and made things a little bit more, it would have been a completely different game. It would have been a much better game if they actually did, like, you know, put in, okay, there's going to be a new project or something, right? Something. The only things that are new are the Nightreigns, which is the last bosses you fight. But they're pretty good. I mean, honestly, I like them. I thought they were pretty cool for what I've seen. And the one that I went against, it felt very nice. It's hard. Really, 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 really hard. But it is fair. It's fair. Okay. But with all that being said as well, I find that these games, you need to be able to enjoy them at the pace that From Software wants you to. And this game does not feel like a From Software. You can't. Because there's this, you know, thing closing in, right? Essentially, what this game is basically training you to do is, okay, how do I do the most efficient way of killing enemies quickly so that I can get my stuff and move on? When you're fighting the bosses, there's no, like, so you can kind of, like, take your time with the bosses, which they're really fun. Not like the little, like, what do you call it, major enemies. Not the major enemies, when you're going through the map. I'm saying, like, the actual bosses. It's like, okay, you go to a certain point, after the, like, the little Fortnite storm comes in, right? And then you're at that little point. It's pretty fun then. Okay, those actually feel really good, and I enjoy every aspect of that. But they are, I mean, you don't really get to immerse yourself or enjoy these little things because it's very, like, ADHD wise. So here's what I'll say. If you're playing this game, if you are a long time fan of just, like, the mechanics of these games, you're gonna like this. Okay, mechanics just themselves, you're able to just, like, run through and be like, wow, I can actually sell a level. You're gonna like this shit. Okay. If you're in it just to have a good time with some friends of bullshit, which I think is probably the best thing. Okay, like, you're the type that's just gonna, like, get a beer, enjoy the shit, and do it. But if you're into, like, what From Software as a group is really established, okay, you're looking for something that's gonna feed into that. This is not gonna be it for you. This is not gonna be it for you. And that's what's really hard for me to, like, talk about. And this is why, like, so many of these reviews, like, I don't really like, because, like, people just, like, downgrade it because it's like, oh, here's this, here's this. But, like, instead of, like, actually going to the, like, the literally intricate things that they are not articulating to you, which I think they should, that's why I think this game needs a little bit more of a touch up and a little bit more of a sign of grace. Yeah. So anyways, that's my rant. God bless, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you can, please subscribe. Okay, please. I need it. I'm desperate. I've been uploading all my VOD stuff here, and there will be a Nightreign video coming out soon of, like, all this stuff that's, like, slightly edited from the stream. So I'd love to see you guys check that out. But good looking game. Check it out. I think it's really fun. And that's all I gotta say. My name's Louis, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye, guys. Whoop.